Oh, but here we go. We have our players, and sporting in the top left-hand corner, we have F91 picking Terran once again. Not going to be playing his Zerg race, representing Team SC Boy, and we have his teammate, Xiaose, the red Zerg. Let's go. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Korean Terran player representing onside. It is going to be CranK, alongside his teammate. Oh, there we go. It is going to be Rotterdam for Team Basilisk. So Rotterdam and CranK up against F91 and Xiaose. So once again, CranK is playing Terran, and once again, SC Boy, or F91, is also going to be playing the Terran race as well. As I mentioned before, Zerg, double Zerg matchups in 2v2 are actually pretty bad. They're... we're getting some insight in the calls. But double Zerg matchups are actually considered to be like the worst pairing and the worst combination in 2v2s, so does make sense here for both Xiaose and SC and F91 to kind of diversify and have one of them play Terran instead. As we're loading into... Oh, is this still in the ladder map pool? This is a very old school 2v2 map. I do recall playing on this years ago at this point, and I know the 2v2 map pool hasn't been updated in a long time, but I don't think this is in the map pool anymore. It's been a while. Now, some of the features of this map, there is a Zelnaga in the center of the map. That is true. There's a Zelnaga. There's also some pocket bases. So you can see both players expanding in their pocket base locations. Very safe expansion patterns here for their naturals. Esther Rotterdam. There's a bit of a meme between Rotterdam and I believe F91. No, sorry, Xiaose. Rotterdam and Xiaose, where Xiaose is like a potato? Question mark? If you know the meme, elaborate, please. I don't understand why the potato is correlated with Xiaose. So let us know. Here we go. Isn't single Zerg a bit tricky regarding creep messing up the non-Zerg? Not really, especially on maps like this. The players aren't sharing bases. So if the players were sharing bases, then true, creep could be an issue. But here both players are actually, they have their own bases to themselves, so the creep isn't really a factor when it comes to messing up building placements or messing up SimCity or anything like that. So that sort of thing is a little bit more map dependent. As we're getting into our openers, and it is going to be a 2-rax. Okay, it's going to be a 2-on-1 at a CranK, a little bit old school from our blue Terran player. Meanwhile, we have our red Terran going into mech. We have Cyclone Production's second factory on the way, so F91, the red Terran, is going mech. Meanwhile, CranK is going bio. Meanwhile, we have Rotterdam as well going into Twilight Council opener into Blink Stalkers, so it's going to be a Blink Stalker based composition from our blue Protoss player, and likewise Xiaose is just going to be droning up and hasn't committed to any kind of tech here, just drones, queens, and links. So we'll see kind of what direction Xiaose goes in, whether he goes into roaches or into spire play. Regardless, I believe CranK should be the first aggressor here. He should be pushing out with a double medevac drop with his Marines. Should be hitting a stim timing. And can, of course, be active at the same time as Rotterdam with his Blink Stalkers. So basically, Roddy and CranK can hit a timing together with their upgrades. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice. It's going to be a Bailey Nest, so it's going to be Lingbane. Oh, there's the Roach Warren from Xiaose, so it's going to be Lingbane, Roach Ravager out of our red Zerg player. And again, SC Boy is building up his mech army, building up his Cyclone count, and now switching into tanks. Tank production is underway. Cyclones are moving out. And a lot of this is going to come down to, first, who is the aggressor. I believe Roddy and CranK should be active first. And if they are active first, it's about whether or not Xiaose and F91 can actually protect each other and actually maneuver in unison and be there for each other when the attack does arrive. Otherwise, they can be picked apart. As Blink is about to finish up, Stim is done, medevacs are on the way, and the blue team should be pushing soon. And we'll see if that's the case. Because I say that, but Rotterdam is taking a third. Third Nexus is on the way. We have Charge finishing up. There's that double drop. So it looks like I assumed that Roddy would be moving out with Blink Stalkers at the same time as this double drop, but it looks like it's going to be CranK on his own. So CranK is just going for his stim timing. This is a 2-1-1 opener, as a reminder. And he is slipping into the main bases of Xiaose. Meanwhile, Roddy is being active. He's taking control of the center of the map, so he is pushing out at the same time. But they're not attacking the same player. Just trying to be as active as possible. Double drop into the main base will unload unscouted. But the bases are here. The Cyclones are in position. Ooh, and we do force back CranK. Again, F91, he's there for his boy. He was in position, ready for the double drop. Did shut it down. Meanwhile, Roddy just was taking control of the center of the map. Didn't push out at the same time. So from here, the game is going to settle. The scariest moment was that stim timing from CranK, and now Xiaose has survived that. And from here, we can ease into the rest of our game. We're still amassing Cyclones, 3rd or 4th factory on the way. We're taking more bases. Looks like Rotterdam is going for a mass gateway composition with not just Blink Stalkers. We have Charge. Rodix Bay is on the way for Colossus production. He's building up a ground-based composition. I'm not too fond of this. We saw Rotterdam excel, or I say Rotterdam excel. I mean, they did lose, but SC2 did do quite well for them last night in game number 1. Here, going into a ground-based competition, the difficult thing here is that both armies are ground-based and they can potentially get in each other's way. So we'll see how, again, the armies move with each other. As tanks are going to be sieging here on the high ground. A pretty good position for CranK. Yeah, he can lake siege upon the, oh my god, upon those lings. A lot of lings do go down. Scan reveals the army. We can see F91 getting in position with his own mech army. A couple of banelings are borrowed, but they're spotted. Yeah, the observer does see them. you could hear Xiaose like surprised. He was like, "What? How did he see me?" But it was the observer from Rotterdam. And, oh, we did throw down a Spire. We're going into a Muta switch. I'm not too sure how I feel about this, specifically against a 2-1-1 build against Mass Bio. We'll see. We'll see how this works. As Mutas are soon to the field, they're going for the tanks. Oh, tanks are left exposed. And the Medivacs will attempt to save them. Hot pickup up is going to bring that tank back. Mutas have been revealed. So Lingbane Muta going to be the composition for Xiaose. Even though he threw down the Roach Warren is not really going to be committed into. Oh, the Mutas actually slip past the army. They're going across the map. Turrets are done. We do catch a couple of transferring workers. 2 SCVs go down. And we can maybe even camp the production. Turret's still on the way. Oh, CranK going to be losing his tank. And he is racing back home. At the same time, Rotterdam is just building up his Colossus and Disruptor-based army. We can see F91 just building up his tank count. Still looking to max. Now it's all about control of that center of Zelnaga. So far, really good positioning here for the tanks of CranK. On the ledge, on the high ground. There's no Hive Tech, there's no Vipers to shut this down. Oof. Xiaose having a hard time finding any more value with those Mutas. He has some dive potential, but he's up against Marines and Blink Stalkers. Nova's going to be going off. Liberators have arrived. See, Rotterdam going to be just rotating over towards the south. Could be threatening some of those bases. Oh, big tank shots here on the Cyclones. And here comes Rotterdam from the south. That's going to be a kill, not a cancel on the CC. 400 minerals down the drain. Big force fields here just cutting off F91 from his main army. At the same time, CranKy does push in. Pretty big dive. Has to be careful. Yeah, Lingbane rotating over. We dive on top of the... Oh god, the Disruptors! Big Novas go off, but we do collapse on this army. Colossus is going to be going down. The Disruptors as well. Rotterdam losing too much. Only one Disruptor has survived, but we can go for the dive as well. We can try to focus it down. It will make it out. But Rotterdam, he just plummets in army supply. Likewise, F91 a miss rally. Ooh, bleeds out a lot of units. So you can see Rotterdam, again, he lost all of his Colossus, lost all of his Disruptors. It's going to take him a little bit to really recover from that loss. So it's going to be CranK on his own out of here in the center of the map. The Blink Stalkers are coming in. Oh, no. They run into tanks. There we go. We have 4 Disruptors to support. Good positioning here from F91. Now, Rotterdam, he has taken the center goal base, so he's going to be able to recover quite quickly with that economy. Meanwhile, double drop into the main. Oh, but the Bailings will crash in. The Mutas as well. We shut down the drop. We can see that Viper's in production for Xiaose. Oh, the Marines are stimming on forward. CranK and Roddy breaking this position. They take down the tank. They take down the CC as well. We are not in position. These bases will not get up and running. And really, this is the win condition. This is the win condition for the blue team, as the blue team has every other base on the map, and they are denying some of the bases of course, Team Red. Resource-wise, Xiaose and F91, they are behind. Lings and Mutas, they're catching reinforcements. They catch a disrupt. That's a lot of disruptors. Oh my god. What is that? 7 disruptors? Jesus. The Ling Muta counterattack achieving quite a bit of damage here, giving F91 a bit of breathing room. Forcing a recall. Stalkers do make it back. You can see Xiaose trying to do something about the economy here of his opponent, but yeah, we are in position. A couple of workers do go down. You can see Rotterdam, he's on 93 probes. Liberators have arrived, and it's all about the liberation zones here. We shut down the tanks. Here comes some yoinks. Some okay abductions, but where's the follow-up? Only 1 Thor. And 1 Thor is not enough, and it looks like CranK and Rotterdam were breaking on through, pushing up into the bases. The red team, very limited resources, very limited amount of money available. Yeah, we're getting on top of the production. F91, his main base has been compromised. And at the same time, the Disruptors pushing into the bases of Xiaose. And there just is not enough here. The Never's going off. Oh. Decent splits, but... Oh, guys, we even have some friendly fire from Rotterdam. But the thing is that there just is not enough on the ground. Lings are coming in. The Disruptors are on cooldown. Oh, not again. Disruptors are on cooldown, and every single Disruptor is going to be going down. That's what, 7, 8, 9 Disruptors. Rotterdam will lose his army, but he can just warp in, rebuild. More Stalkers on the way, charge lots instead. And meanwhile, CranK, he has killed the main base of F91. Going to be pushing into the pocket bases. Yeah, at this point, our Red Terran player, he's out of this game. There's almost nothing left. Like, while Xiaose and Rotterdam have been skirmishing, CranK, he's been putting in the work. He's just been mowing through all these bases, one after the other. And even if Rotterdam isn't breaking through, he's just distracting. He's distracting his opponent. He's trading well against the Vipers, against the Ultras. And CranK, we just stim and win, Papi. We're just getting into the main base. There's nothing to stop the Terran. Working through hatchery after hatchery. And it looks like the blue team is... I just realized CranK put on some glasses. I just noticed. I mean, they're getting their revenge. Yesterday, F91 and Xiaose, they did take the 2v2 match. But here, it looks like CranK and Rotterdam are fighting back with all this momentum. They will be redeeming themselves after yesterday's matches. After yesterday's games. Stalkers, they come in from behind. The final tank's going to be knocked down. Even storming the tanks. You can see Xiaose, he's got an army to work with, a couple of Ultras, a couple of Mutas, but again, it's not going to be enough here. Yeah, hands off the keyboard for F91. He knows that there's just nothing left at this point. And CranKy's staying in. He's pushing into the main. That's a lot of Ultras. Oh my god. The kiting. Kite, puppy, kite. We get 1. We get 2 Ultras. A 3rd Ultra as well. The Stalkers make it. The Colossus as well. GG gets called. And both CranK and Rotterdam will be fighting back. They will take the game. GG. Oh, oh god. I like it's very smooth, CranK, very smooth. I like the idea, the narrative of like Roddy had the glasses for his ceremony initially, and then he like handed the glasses off to CranK for his 2v2. It's beautiful. GG, well played. Yeah. And with that, we conclude our show matches. Again, but a shout out to our SE boy casters, as of course they may have struggled here in the team league matches, in the team league matches, but they were able to find success in other aspects in their individual matches. Earlier, of course, Xiaose was able to take down CranK. And of course, yesterday as well, they were able to win their 2v2 match. My condolences to F91. He's been a little bit unlucky these past couple of days. Wasn't able to bring down Rotterdam or CranK. But regardless, GG, well played. Oh, and with that, that is our show matches in the bag. We might get some winners interviews. We will see. I think we had a winners interview yesterday? Question mark or no? I remember we spoke to the Mystery Gaming's team owner and asked him and talked to him about the show matches. So we will most likely have some interviews and some other content before diving into the next series. Up next, now that the show matches have wrapped up, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we return, we will have Team Liquid versus Shopify Rebellion. Oh my god, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so juicy. A really big match on the horizon for World Team League for the playoffs to determine who advances on to face off against Dragon Kaizi Gaming. DKZ are waiting in the next round, waiting for the winner of this upcoming series. I need a gift for that. It was good. It was good. It's beautiful. Was beautiful. This map is on the ladder. Oh, thank you for letting us know. Thank you. By any chance, do you know what MMR the other player has? Uncertain about their MMRs. I mean, I'm sure they're all GM or around GM. I know Rotterdam is like what, around like 5.5 to like 5 point something K on the European ladder. And all these players I should say the casters are comparable to each other. Comparable. Oh. Crunk, please. He just put the one. He did. He was styling, Pappy. It was beautiful. But again, we should be soon going on a break here for that next series. And we will be setting up predictions. Predictions will soon be open as well for the next series for those upcoming matches. For those that are curious, Team Liquid, we're going to have players like Cure, Clem, Alaser, Mana, Skillus going up against Team Shopify, which is Scarlet, Bjorn, Harstem, and Lambo. So some really juicy matches are ahead of us. It's going to be a best of 7 WTL match, WTL format. We can get into the format a little bit later on. For now, though, I guess we're going to be going on a short break. I don't know if there's anything else we can really talk about when it comes to the 2v2. It was 2v2s can be a little bit chaotic, and the game isn't necessarily balanced around 2v2. Not necessarily. So, yeah, it's just good fun. It's just good fun, and I appreciate that that WTL and SC Boy are willing to make something like this, and just have a fun event to kind of break the ice and be the entree to the main course that is WTL. It's a lot of fun and really cool to see CranK and Rotterdam competing again. Especially CranK. Like CranK, he's a retired old man. His competing days are long behind him, so it's really cool to see him forced to like ladder and prepare and play StarCraft again after a long time. It's really cool to see. I appreciate it. But yeah, for now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our next matchup. We will have the beginning of day 2 of the playoffs or World Team League Winter. So we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys
Hello， 各
in
位
a
亲
couple
爱
of
的观众
minutes.
朋友们，我们怀着非常沉痛、难过、悲伤的心情来到赛后采访环节。我真的非常的难过，看到我的2位好大哥在今天的比赛里面落败。但是黄哥其实第一局还是非常轻松的拿下来的，就很简单的狗蟑螂一波一拳就把 CranK 拿下来了。有没有想过会这么轻松？
我觉得一切都在我的计划当中了，因为，我看了他这个开局，昨天他也是这个开局，然后他今天上来主动跟我说要选破晓，然后选破晓，我一想选破晓就是要干这个跟昨天的开局一样的嘛，就是，然后我看了一眼他的开局，昨天就是只出2个火车，然后裸偷，这种就蟑螂过去稳赢版的，所以就没啥悬念啊，没啥悬念，比较简单一点。
是的。那么其实今天这个孙哥在比赛之前，其实我们看到镜头前的你还是非常的紧张的，一直在少女祈祷，双眼这个闭目，然后念念有词。我们都很好奇，你当时是在祈祷什么东西呢？
其实并没有祈祷，谁跟你说祈祷？只是在叙述这脑海中叙述，待会儿要怎么打的一个流程而已。这只是输了有点郁闷的是，他没有开3矿。因为我默认他出凤凰，默认他开3矿，但是他没有开3矿，自己被2个使徒也搞得有点乱，所以没有去侦查。不过我也不会去侦查，因为我默认他是开3矿的，所以说输了也没话说啊。他这个战术转变的比较好。
就炉内作战，其实在炉内已经赢了，就是你的脑子已经赢了。包括在昨天的比赛，其实我们都觉得你的战术其实是非常 OK 的。然后这个根据对面的一个判断运营，当时这个龙塔也按下去了，其实运营都是非常对的，脑子已经赢了，只是手是不是稍微就随着年龄的增大，有一点运营不过来了。
有这方面吧，但是还是因为喜欢打运营，不喜欢打一波，所以说，就昨天防住了这个两个那个大河之后，感觉要跟对方运营一下。如果直接按一波的话，我觉得我就赢了，但是有点遗憾啊。
Set 老师评价就现在你只能打前10分钟，但是没有想到你今天7分半就死了。其实你5分半就死了，7分半才埋的。你觉得自己多坚持的这2分钟的意义是什么呢？
这个其实就战术被克了嘛，这个没什么的，就想好怎么打，然后想好对方怎么打，想好自己怎么打，然后输掉了。那这个基本功是一方面，第2个方面对手应变也做出了一些变化，所以说没有料到就输了。
非常的遗憾啊！那其实，在2v2今天的比赛当中，有一波是其实黄哥已经说了有 OB， 然后让孙哥撒一把雷达，但当时孙哥并没有撒，难道是因为当时你说的是孙哥这边有那个，你那个一下，所以孙哥没有 get 到，他才没有撒雷达吗？我想问一下。
其实我觉得 OB 这个地方已经不是主要的问题了，主要问题是第一波2传兵，我看到这个 CranK 投出来了嘛，然后我们故意在上面让他投下来。然后投下来，我本来想孙哥的导弹车过来，4、5个导弹车过来一锁，把2传兵一吃，那我们就大优，对吧？我龙狗随便打了，然后结果孙哥好像没反应过来，锁歪了，锁到机枪了，然后这个时候我们节奏就有点乱了，到后面其实没打好啊，没打好。
孙哥当时是什么一个情况呢？会就是让你导致一个曾经叱咤风云的职业选手，在今天竟然会锁歪了这样一个小失误？
其实不是锁歪，只是我 C 到运输机。但是他过去的时候，然后又 A 了一下之后，他自动锁到枪兵了。
那也没有办法，一个小小的一个瑕疵。如果这一波其实如果能打下来，其实还是蛮有机会的。虽然就是大家今天对你的风评非常高啊，说你在这个1v3啊，因为孙哥大概在13分钟的时候就查无此人了，当时只有50个人口了，那个时候你心里慌不慌？
我这个时候已经输掉了，这个时候就是我们中间站不下来，这张图就很难打，因为中间有个瞭望塔嘛，站下来之后你就可以各种开矿。反正就是还是输在前面的2传兵上面。
好的，但是我们这个孙哥、黄哥这2天还是给我们呈现了一场让我们观众们看得非常刺激和过瘾的表演赛。如果未来有机会的话，是否还会来接这样子的应战呢？
我是可以接的，我不知道孙哥敢不敢接。
孙哥敢不敢？
没什么不敢的呀，反正对吧？我觉得能有机会可以打的呀。
好的，孙哥现在还是非常的有信心啊。那我们也是要跟他们的2位对手来连线一下。那黄哥这边可以去稍事休息一下，准备后面的比赛解说。我跟孙哥一起来连线一下这个鹿特丹跟 CranK。안녕하세요，Hello， 来，孙哥跟他们先打个招呼吧。Hello。那我们这边先 Hello， 我们先问一下，采访一下鹿特丹吧。就是其实看到你2天都是为自己做了这个庆祝的造型哦，一天是吃土豆，一天是 cos 了应该是教父。这2天的这个庆祝造型都是怎么想的，怎么去准备的呢？
So we're gonna first interview with Rotterdam. We have all seen that you are fully prepared. Day 1, you ate potato. Day 2, you're playing like Godfather. How did these moves come up to your mind?
Well, it was kind of forced because our Chinese friends always go for an early pull against me because they think it's a good idea. So because they go for an early pull, the games get a little bit weird and I'm forced to play in a certain way. I was hoping for a nice macro game. I asked Xiaose, our potato friend, macro, but he never wants to macro with me.
就我觉得就是这2天其实打的还有点怪吧，我是想跟他打一下这种发展的后期啊，但是我跟你说，我们一起就打后期嘛，但是他没有，就是每次都是正中我的这个下怀吧。
好的，那我们这边的话也想采访一下 CranK， 因为上一次比赛的时候你是输给了孙哥，然后这一次也是成功复仇了，想问一下这半年你是有辛苦的这个苦练，为了这一次复仇孙哥吗
next we're gonna sorry. Go.
네, 다음 인터뷰 진행할게요. 저번에는 F91 선수한테 졌는데 이번에 복수해서 성공하셨잖아요. 혹시 반년 동안 따로 준비한 거 있을까요?
저번에 지고 이번에 이길 수 있게 된 원동력은 그때 이후로 단 한 판도 스타투를 안 했다는 점. 그렇게 준비를 좀 했습니다.
首先上次输了之后，上次输过之后，然后这次能赢得比赛的最大的一个动力就是从那次之后，我从来没有玩过一盘星期二，所以这次应该是可以赢下来的。
哎，对此答案，孙哥有什么想法吗？从上次到现在半年了，他一盘星期二都没有打，但是这一次竟然把你给打赢了，你现在有什么想法想跟 CranK 说一下？
没什么，我只是觉得他的这个学了一套流程啊，这套流程走得非常的顺，然后的确也是非常用心啊，我觉得我输的也是情理之中啊。
人家一天都没有练，好吧，他也是颅内练了一套流程。
他肯定学流程，你信我。
好的，好的，孙哥真是奇耻大辱啊！孙哥，那有什么话想跟这个鹿特丹交流一下呢？
我觉得鹿特丹他的实力在我之上，这的确的。但是昨天我看了他的比赛之后啊，他应该是在那个时间点7分钟，就5分钟的时间点开3矿，所以我打得比较默认，对吧？他这个变招的确打得我有点措手不及。我觉得鹿特丹是一位这个应变非常好的一位选手，好吧？希望下次有机会再能交流一下。
好的，我们翻译老师可以把孙哥对于这个鹿特丹的一个评价给他转述一下。
So our host was asking, F91, do you have anything to say to Rotterdam? F91 said, I had to admit that Rotterdam is better than me. Because yesterday I learned from the video that he started his third base around 5 minutes. So I consider that today he's gonna do the same trick, but he changed. Taught me.
Yes, I mean, obviously the game was a little bit different, and I wanted to go for a similar build yesterday, but I think A, it's not very fun, and B, I wanted to play a long game with my potato friend. But yesterday was just a bit stressful, because after I lost to Xiaose the very first time, there were 4 tournaments in a row where I went, whether it was Home Story Cup in Krefeld or DreamHack Masters in Sweden, and Chinese fans would always come up to me and they were like, hey, you lost to Potato, when you gonna beat Potato? So it was very important to me to just win, just like I did last season, because I was bothered by all the questions. I even received gifts because I lost to the Potato. So I just wanted to win today. I just wanted to have some fun. The game was a little bit different, and Quick Hydra is not very good in defending just any attack. So I wanted to do my celebration, so I just focused on winning and went for a lot of zealots.
是这样的，我本来也是不想变的，我本来是想和黄哥一起打长一点，我也一直跟他说咱们打长一点，打久一点。但是呢，因为上次也是输过了，所以来自很多水友的问话，说，哎，你怎么输了啊？这个要赢啊！各国的水友其实都有问我说，哎，怎么输了你要赢？甚至我还收到过礼物。那这次呢，我也是想啊，为了要打得更加快乐，也是为了赢，我不得不变啊。结果变了就有更好的结果，我还是玩得非常开心，所以我还整了一些活儿。
是的，这个大家都玩得很开心，我们中国的观众也看得很开心，只有孙哥快气死了。但是没有关系，孙哥，这样子，我们想问一下 CranK， 因为听说你之前是星际争霸1的职业选手，甚至好像和 Tosgirl 还是同一个队的，算得上是不是同期的队友？那我们的孙哥曾经是星际争霸1中国最强的男人之一，江南狗王，你敢不敢跟孙哥来打星际1？来，我们问一下 CranK。
일단은 그 전에 스타크래프트 1 프로게이머도 잠깐 했는데 토스걸님이랑 그 같은 시기는 아니지만 같은 팀에 있으셨잖아요. 그리고 또 F91 선수도 스타 1에서는 좀 약간 유명한 선수로서 혹시 다음에 기회 된다면 F91님이랑 스타크래프트 1을 할 생각이 있으실까요?
그 토스골 선수랑 친분도 있고, 작년에도 이 한국에서 대회에서 또 했었거든요. 그래서 저도 이제 토스골 선수한테 따끈따끈하게 한번 졌던 기억이 있기 때문에 한번 누가 제일 못하는지 겨뤄보는 것도 재밌을 것 같습니다.
首先我跟托斯哥还是比较熟的，而且去年的话，韩国也有过一场线下的比赛，然后我也是曾经输给过托斯哥，所以我们可以再来一局，看谁是那个最差的男人。
哎，他跟 Tosgirl 很熟哎，孙哥怎么说他已经接了，你接不接？
可以接，但是要去练一练，有点菜现在。
好的，那我们跟 CranK 说一说，我们约定一下，我们下一届应该也是半年后的这个 WTL， 孙哥就跟 CranK 来战一下星际1，如何？
그러면 다음 시즌 때 다음 그 WTL 시즌 때 F91님이랑 혹시 스타크래프트 한 판 하시는 거 약속하는 거 어떠실까요?
뭐 좋습니다. 근데 F91 선수 조금 스타2부터 연습을 좀 해보면 어떨까? 좀 아쉽던데요 이번에?
我接受挑战，这个没有问题的。但是我觉得 F91是不是应该先把星际2练起来？这次感觉打得没有很好。
黄哥在刚刚在我们边上大说了一句：“你不敢就让我来。”连黄哥都敢来跳了。哎呀，好的，那也是非常感谢两位接受到我们的采访。这一次的比赛，我们这个玩得很开心，也看得很开心。再一次感谢我们两位。
Thanks for the interview. We're having fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. 你好，
Thank you，
拜拜。
拜拜。孙哥加油啊！回去苦练，一定要打败他。他说他跟托斯格尔是好朋友啊。
应该能赢吧？应该能赢吧？
你怎么现在一点气势都没有了？你平时不是这样的呀？你平时那种非常豪气的那种气势呢？
是啊，因为我赢了，所以才能那么就那种
很硬，对吧？
很澎湃嘛那种感觉。但输了呀，输了失败的人只能就低下头，没办法，这个
就先缩一缩，对吧？然后等半年后赢了之后再跳起来，是吧？
赢了必然跳，好吧
？OK， 好的，那我们就期待半年后孙哥的跳起来。那我们这边也是稍事休息一下，一会儿有正赛带给大家。